Hey guys, this is E10 Sun from SunBros. Today I'm really excited to be bringing you guys this brand new video. But before we get started with that, I want to make sure I remind you guys on how to get entered in for a chance to win our guaranteed skin giveaways that we do every Sunday night during our 1-hour question and answer live stream. All you gotta do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and comment below with your in-game name and which skin you'd like to receive on either the NA or EU servers under 700 vouchers. And remember, the more videos that you do this with that are uploaded each week, the higher chance you have to win. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get into the how to build Airi video. We're starting as we always do on the hero page, and we're going to take a look at Airi's toolkit and figure out a little bit about who she is and what makes her tick, what makes her strong, what makes her weak, and figure out how to best make a build that matches her toolkit and her strengths and weaknesses. Alright, Airi's passive is slash. Every normal attack reduces spin cooldown by 1 second on hit. Spin is her first ability. Starts at 8 seconds, doesn't get reduced any, but obviously that passive is going to reduce it quite a bit when you're doing some auto attacks. Airi slings her shuriken to slice enemies along the path, dealing physical damage and stunning enemies in her path. So pretty solid first ability that does a decent amount of damage, but stuns all the enemies it hits, and it just keeps going. It doesn't stop the first enemy hit. So pretty nasty, and you can do it very frequently because of that passive, so it's pretty sick. Second ability is Shadow. Cooldown starts at 10 seconds and ends at 7. Airi charges in the specified direction and deals damage to enemies in her way. This ability can be casted up to 3 times in a row before triggering the cooldown. So you can do it 3 times, but the cooldown doesn't start to go off until you do it the 3rd time. And then last but not least, her ultimate Ryu. Cooldown 40 seconds down to 30 at level 3. Airi leaps up and summons a spirit that deals 250 damage, or just deals a bunch of physical damage, and reduces enemies' movement speed. So that's the first part of it. She jumps up, spirit, summons a spirit that does all the damage and slows movement speed down. Then she strikes the ground, dealing the same amount of damage and stuns affected enemies. So it's enemies that were slowed get stunned. She also gains a massive shield for every hero that she hits, and Airi is immune to crowd control effects while doing the ability. The ability is a lot faster than it seems. The way that it reads, it seems that it is just kind of a lengthy thing. It's not. It's very quick. And then she gains 100% movement speed that decreases over 2.5 seconds, and 30% attack speed for 5 seconds. So it's a really powerful ultimate that gives you a lot of stuff on her. That's really sick. So, so let me start from there and go to the equipment page, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to give you guys, I want to say 3 builds. I'm going to give you 2 builds with 3 different purposes. Okay, starting with the build that I think is best on her, which is to to kind of really enhance her toolkit and make her even stronger in what she brings to the table. And of course, I'm going to approach that from my favorite position to play on her, which is going to be jungle assassin. But I'm also going to give you some alternatives. But we're going to be building her in the way that I think she does best. So we're going to start the jungle item, and we're going to be going Soul Reaver. There is kind of an off-tank build on Airi that gets built a lot, and I actually think it's not a bad build, but it's not something I would. It's not what I think she does best. It isn't the best way that I think that she ends up getting built. I am going to build more of an assassin build on her, and I'll give you guys an off-tank, a separate off-tank build that you could use in jungle or in lane, and you guys can tell me what you guys think of those. Now, I think she happens to have a toolkit that matches what I'm looking for in an assassin, because she has a lot of crowd control. She can get a massive shield. She can get immunity to damage. To all crowd control effects for a short amount of time while she's doing her ultimate. She has a lot of mobility, so she's really, to me, she really is built for assassinating, for coming in from the jungle, ganking, or for flanking during a team fight and knock out the backline. She's really, really good at that. So we're gonna accentuate those features on her. And the next item we're gonna go is, of course, we're gonna go Greaves. We're gonna go Boots for Gilded Greaves. Simple. We get magic defense, not bad. We get movement speed, not bad. But of course, the reason you take Gilded Greaves over all the other boots is because the unique passive resistance, 35% resistance to crowd control effects, slow stuns, knockups, knockbacks, everything gets reduced by 35%. So if you get stunned for 1 second or slowed for a second, it's going to be 0.65 seconds instead of a whole second. So really solid to have on almost every hero in the game who doesn't have any solid crowd control limiting ability. So okay, next we're going to be going back to the attack section, and we're going to be getting an item that I think is very underrated on Airi, and that's Spirit Longinus. In this situation, it's going to give us at level 3, at item number 3, it's going to give us, or really full item number 2, it's going to give us a little bit of extra tankiness. Now we're going to have a little bit of magic resist, a little bit of armor, not enough to really make a massive difference, but it's enough to help out. You get attack damage, you get cooldown reduction, which I like having some cooldown reduction on her. And keep in mind that we have 10% cooldown reduction on Soul Reaver and 10% lifesteal. And then the reason we're taking Soul Reaver is because the attack speed does lend itself to really, because of the passive, that takes off the cooldown reduction of spin. It really helps Airi's toolkit and her auto attacks kind of find that harmony that I talked about in the Hero Quick Look video, where we're trying to maximize Airi's abilities to be used with auto attacks in order to do the most damage. So attack speed does help with that. So now we have 25% cooldown reduction right off the get-go. So spin is an item now where we're able to, we have 25% cooldown reduction off the 8 seconds, which is going to put it at 6 seconds, and then we're going to be able to take the cooldown down by 1 second every time we auto attack, and we have some attack speed, so we're able to cast that spin ability a lot, and it's a very nice, decent damage, long range stun that we can do. And the kind of the cool thing that we can do with it is we can hit the spin, which is the shuriken going out. We can hit it, stun somebody, and then we can dash in to do damage to them. Really, you could stun, dash, ult before they really get a chance to recover and really jump on a squishy that may be caught off guard by how quickly Airi can do a nice quick stun with spin and jump in there and do some crazy damage. We also, of course, like the passive. Decreases armor by 50 on hit for 5 seconds. It stacks up to 5 times. The reason I like to go Spirit is because the stacks are easy to get. 5 stacks is easy to get on her. The spin, the dashes do damage, the spin does damage, the auto attacks do damage, the ult does damage twice. I don't know if both of those proc Spirit Longinus, but regardless of that, yeah, Spirit Longinus is easy to get those 5 stacks on. So early in the game, 250 armor pierce is solid to have, and I really like it. Next, we're gonna go an item that I think is or should be universal on her, no matter if the build is an assassin build or not. Frost Cape is just going to be perfect. You're generally going to be hitting, like I said, the concert and the marriage of her abilities with auto attacks going off simultaneously is really important on her, and that is going to cause you to need to do auto attacks right after abilities frequently. So we're going to get the 10% cooldown reduction, which puts us at 35%, which is just crazy because her abilities are really good, and it's it's easily the best part about her. And then more armor, a little bit more tanky just for free, some health, but we get a lot of damage on this. Frost Power, after using an ability, the next normal attack reduces movement speed by 30% and deals 150 physical damage plus 20 additional damage for each level gained for only a 3-second cooldown, and we'll be able to proc that multiple times through the same fight. We'll also be able to use it to do the combos we're talking about. So if you shuriken dash auto attack to slow them down and then do your ultimate, or if you auto attack immediately after doing your ultimate, then they can't really get away from you, and you can really just go to town with that increased movement speed, with the increased attack speed after the ultimate, and the shield. You'll be able to proc Frost Cape after the ultimate and really go to town on these guys, so they have 0 chance of getting away from you. It's really solid. Just overall a good item on Airi, and I would take it with every single build that she has. Then we were looking at going back to damage and taking Fafnir's Talon. Now this is kind of where I think the build gets interesting. Some people might not like this, but they're wrong. The Fafnir's Talon is a really solid item at this point. The attack damage is nice, obviously attack speed. Now we're putting her at 20% lifesteal, which is really comes in handy because she can do some really, with the attack speed we have right now, she can do some really nice quick auto attacks that are, this is going to do some really solid damage on these auto attacks at this point in the game. And we have the passive Dragon's Breath, which causes your normal attacks to deal an additional 8% of the target's HP and physical damage. So we're going to be dealing quite a bit of damage. Now we have some good attack speed, so we can get a couple of attacks in between our abilities as we're practicing that really solid concert, that marriage between auto attacks and abilities on Airi. Now they're going to be doing extra damage because of the 8%, and it's just going to make the auto attacks even more worth doing, and it's going to be solid. It really causes Airi to do a lot of quick assassin-like damage, even though she doesn't have that quick burst of crit like Wukong or somebody like that. She has the kind of really solid melty damage where she just keeps going and going and going, and it just, before you know it, you're depleted of health and dead. And then last but not least, we're actually going to stay in the damage tree, and we're going to go to rank breaker. A lot of Airi's damage comes from auto attacks, but a lot of her damage comes from her abilities. Spin is going to be something you can cast really over and over and over again to cause these stuns. So the ability to do a spin and an auto attack, causing you know, the Frost Cape passive to go off and getting the passive from Fafnir's Talon to go off is a really solid way to play her. And then obviously we get 10% more cooldown reduction, which puts us at 45%, which of course is over that 40% limit. But it's just the right item anyway. So we're now maxed out at 40% cooldown reduction, which is just sick. And then we have 100 or more attack damage. So our attack damage is actually getting to pretty good heights. So Soul Reaver at this point should have given us, we should have all 15 stacks. So it's about 45 attack damage. We have 80 from here. We have 60 from here. And we have 100 from here. So it's not bad. We're a little bit tanky, but we do a crap ton of damage. And of course, we get the 250 armor pierce, which is now putting us at a possible 500 armor pierce, plus 8% of current HP. So Airi will be able to really burst down a majority of the heroes in the game now, including a lot of tanks, because this is going to really change what she does. And then, so this is primary build number 1, assassin build, okay? This is a straight jungle assassin build, gives us some solid ganks. If you want to sell boots later in the game and buy something else, I would probably buy Fenrir's Tooth just for the extra damage, or I would consider buying Muramasa just for, and it's a little bit of overkill for three armor pierce items. Maybe I would sell, you know, I would consider selling Spear Longinus for Muramasa, but probably I'm either going to build Fenrir's Tooth, or I'm going to go to the defensive side of things and maybe buy something that just deals, or just really going to be solid at protecting her. Maybe like Shoga's Edge. I think it'll be a solid overall, just a little bit extra tanky item. Or you can get Ancestral Glory, or you can stay in the attack tree and take something like Desicle, which is going to give her attack damage and you know, remove any kind of potential killing blow. It's kind of the options for selling boots of what you're going to look like. Now, build number 2 is going to be able to be played in the jungle, like I said, or in lane. And people aren't going to like, you know, necessarily taking this. Now, this is a much more beefy build on Airi, making her more of an off tank than an assassin. Again, I said it and I meant it. I think she's a much better assassin. If you're gonna play her in lane, though, I think you're gonna want to build her more tanky than assassin-y, and because you'll be playing her on the Dark Slayer side, which is the solo lane. And this is pretty much what I've come to. So we're going to be doing the Leviathan Mantle Rock combo, which is really not bad on her because she's able to stick close to her enemies really well. She's got 3 dashes, her ultimate, which causes a slow stun, her spin causes a stun, her ultimate gives her 100% movement speed increase. I mean, she's got a toolkit built for staying close to people. So she's going to be melting people with magic damage from the Leviathan's passive, and of course Mantle Ross passive. And then we're gonna go. And then Frost Cape makes it even worse. So if you spin and you hit somebody, Frost Cape's gonna go off. You're gonna slow them down, but you're just gonna be melting them. All these abilities are gonna be melting them. You're gonna have more tankiness. Then we're going to Muramasa, and what we're doing really is we're not accentuating her ability. We're not accentuating the marriage or the concert of the auto attacks combined with the abilities. We're really accentuating her abilities, and we're helping her do them more frequently. Now, the 40% armor pierce is nice to have. It helps her abilities a lot more than her auto attacks. So Muramasa in this case is going to make her abilities hit harder, and because she's more tanky, she's going to have the option of doing them more often. Then the last item we're going to be taking, of course, is a Medallion of Troy, which is going to give some more cooldown reduction, which gives us a total of 30 on this build. So we have 30% cooldown reduction, not 40, but keep in mind we're going to be able to survive for a lot longer, so she'll be able to do more abilities. Anyways, we're going to get magic defense, so now we've got a bit of armor. We have 300 armor and health here. We have 330 armor here, so we got 630 armor. We have 360 magic defense plus 120, so 470 magic defense. Plus we have, you know, this is going to be 1850 on the health. This is going to be 800, 2600, and then we're going to be talking about 2650, and then 1000 from this. So we have really base tankiness. We have armor, and magic defense, and then we have a health, and we have kind of everything going added a little bit to keep her healthy. She's going to be melting people with Leviathan and Mantle Rock combo. And then her abilities obviously are going to be just sick because she has a really sick cool, toolkit that we really like. So this is what I would play actually in lane, and this is what I would play if you want to be a beefier off-tank jungler. So that is 2 builds for 3 purposes that we covered today. And I'm going to go ahead as always and cover Arcana, as we now are doing on all our how to build videos. And the Arcana to me is pretty simple. I'm going to be going with the 80 pen build. We're going to be building Onslaught, which has 3.6 armor pierce and 2 attack damage. We're going to be building Assassinate, which has 1.6 attack damage and 1% movement speed. So now what we've gotten ourselves is 36 attack damage, 10% movement speed, and 36 armor pierce. And then of course we're going to be going with Skewer, giving us a whopping 45 attack damage, 10% movement speed, and 100 armor pierce. So you add the armor pierce into Spirit Longinus and she'll have 350 early, and then you add a rank breaker in it and we're talking about 600 armor pierce late game for her with that build, which is why Mirror Mouse is not really necessary. I say stick with that, sell it and buy it Fenrir. If you sell the boots and buy Fenrir's Tooth is a better option. But yeah, this is the Arcana that we're going to end up going, and then talent wise we're going to be looking obviously Punish on both of these. It's not a hard choice. We are taking the jungle item on both these builds. Punish is the way to go. I don't have another build that doesn't include a jungle item. I think that this is the best way she's built, whether you want to go off tank or whether you want to go to the Assassinate side. So that is it, guys. That is 2 Airi builds. We're going to give you guys a quick look at them again. Airi build number 1 is an Assassin jungle build for Airi, which gives her attack speed, armor pierce, an insane, cooldown reduction, and insane damage, giving her the ability to really make the most of the ability damage in her incredible ability toolkit and the auto attack damage that she can really output. And this is, I think, is just the absolute best build for her toolkit. And then the secondary option for some of you guys is an in-lane build or a more off-tank jungle build, which has the Leviathan Mantle Raw burn damage combination, making her pretty tanky, giving her the armor pierce necessary to make her abilities really do some damage. But that is 2 builds, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, till next time,